Wow, and we are live.
We're here.
Wow, this is our first live podcast ever, and it probably sounds horrible right now, but that's fine. We have ways to improve things and later on,
Yeah, slowly. Like, make sure we have our USB extender here.
Yes. We're not even using the right camera right now, but I feel like the lighting in the back is actually working out pretty perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So welcome to BNSN Podcast, and usually we would have like an applause going on right now. So welcome to the first live podcast. We don't have any views right now, but we're not expecting that right now. We're going to build off of this.
Slowly but surely.
And our first live podcast, we are going to be talking about politics, which is crazy. But my man over here, we didn't even do introductions, but I'm Bryce, and you guys know I'm the coolest. And
This is JC. I'm not the coolest.
You're pretty cool.
Sometimes. I'm working on it.
And I got to tell you, JC, a big reason why I want to do this podcast, especially with JC, is because he really does know his politics. Like, you do research, and what would you consider yourself right now? Like party wise, what would you say you are?
Well, I'm a registered Democrat because when I turned 18, I registered and I didn't know, and I just registered as Democrat because that's what my mama was, right? And then I really didn't pay no mind to politics until like 2018, I think it was 2017, around that time. So I've been doing this shit for like about 5 years now.
So are you still a Democrat?
No. I moved more to the independent side of things.
Okay.
I like ideas from both sides, so I'm more under the independent. But
do you like the independent candidate?
I do. I actually do.
Yeah.
I like
RFK.
Yes,
yeah?
I do. Yeah.
Give me one good thing about RFK right now that you think is good.
So he's killing it with the crypto stuff, man. The way that he's looking to implement some of these crypto regulations, where the U.S. will take some of the bitcoins that they have sieged through different means. They will convert those into a strategic reserve. So the United States will hold Bitcoin as money, the same way that we hold oil, we hold gold. So they will. He's looking to implement that in day one.
So isn't like Trump supposed to regulate that too?
Yeah. See, the difference between RFK and Trump is that RFK actually knows what he's talking about, and you could tell if they're during the Bitcoin conference about a couple of weeks back. You got RFK who's up there. He's talking. You hear him in his message that he knows what he's talking about. Whereas Trump knows that it's a voting issue. So for those single issue voters that care about crypto, like me, really, then I will tend to lend my view to what Trump is saying. But when it comes down to actually talking about it, I feel like RFK talks about it from a technological side. He talks about it better than Trump does.
Me and you both agree. I mean, RFK is not winning the presidency. There's no way. We were at one point thinking that RFK was probably going to come in second place, but I just don't even see that happening anymore. I just don't even see it. I think that, Trump's definitely looking like the, clear winner right now, and Harris is looking like, definitely a second place. She's, gaining the political, background for the Democrats now, like, isn't she, did they come out with her being endorsed yet?
Not yet. So sometimes this month they're going to have the DNC nomination, and then they will.
But they say that she probably has, the votes for it.
Which,
right
I mean, it's tough because they're going based off of polls. But with Kamala Harris, like she wasn't voted into this position. Like
Mike's watching right now. Shout out. What's up, Mike?
What's good, Mike?
I don't have the keyboard in front of me, so I can't type back at you. But what's up, my boy? Look at I don't know who else is watching, but if you guys want to hit us, even if you don't like what we're saying right now, you're allowed to. It's cool. But thank you for joining in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mike said he's at work right now listening. Love you guys. Love you, Mike. Be good, bro.
Mike
I hope you're
dude.
killing it. Selling mad couches right now.
No, he's killing it with them shorts. I'm leaving it there.
Perfect.
So there was no no one there was no voting for it, which is a head scratcher, right? Because now you have the powers that be from the Democratic Party. They're trying to push her, right? When the people didn't really vote for her. Like when she was running for president back in 2019, she got 0 votes. You feel me? And now they're pushing her to be the president of the United States, which is a head scratcher to me.
I mean, I think it's something that they kind of have to do. It's something that they kind of got forced into. There was no vote to make Biden the person to be the Democratic Party leader, right?
Agree.
He was just put in place, or he just took the reins on it, And when he dropped out, which he should have, we all seen that debate. It was a debacle, it was horrible, and I feel like it's crazy because I know you watched the debate. I watched the debate, and before the debate, the what was it? CBS? It was aired on CBS. CNN. Okay, so CNN was talking like a lot of good things about Biden, right?
Yeah.
Right after the debate, they couldn't have switched up and did a 180 more. I've never seen it happen. And it's crazy how big of a switch one debate. What was it? 90 minutes, maybe, right?
If that, yeah.
90 minutes can destroy a guy's career. Not even career, because he has a very long career, but can destroy, him becoming president of the United States, like in a 90-minute span, which is unbelievable, right?
Yeah, I mean, but if people were watching or at least paying mild attention to politics, he's been like that for a long time, right? He's been gaffing up, been saying crazy shit for a while, and now people woke up to that. Good thing it was 5 months prior to the election. But
yes, true.
People realized that he's not the guy that they were painting him to be.
Very true. Very true.
So I mean, I understand where you're coming from, where they had to replace him, right? But I think that could have been a better choice.
Oh no, I agree. Who do you think would have been a good choice for the Democratic Party?
Oh man, I don't know.
I can tell you who I think would have beaten Trump.
Who?
Michael Obama. Michelle Obama. I'm sorry, Michelle Obama.
The Obamas have a big following in politics, right?
Huge. So, I mean, we could say this. Barack Obama is one of the best in our generation that we've seen public speakers. Like the guy just grabs the crowd.
Yeah.
He's so good at speaking, right?
But his policies were head.
Well, I mean, we don't need to speak on this.
Yeah, okay. Right.
But I'm just saying, like, if you look at now, Harris kind of sounds like Barack Obama. It's like as if he's writing her speeches in a way, right?
You starting again? You put in your conspiracy.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, I don't want to get. I don't want to get into that. I'm just, we're rambling on. We're talking. We're feeling. Do they not sound similar now for some reason?
No, they do.
Because she used to talk in circles. She used to talk like, if you want change, then you have to be changed. And when change happens, we can all just change, And you're just what are you talking about?
She got a good one. I can't think about it off the top of my head right now, but it's something about the past not impacting the future.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys can watch videos yourself. This is not something we're making up, Maybe the change and the change and the change is not exact words that she says, but you got to watch her like prior to her prior speeches, because they're not really that good.
No, they're word salads.
Yeah. you end up watching it, and when you stop watching it, you're just like, what did I retain from this speech? Because you retained nothing.
I just got dumber watching it.
Seriously.
I was, I try to watch both sides. So I was trying
as an independent, right? I'm also, I would say, an independent. And so I watch both sides. So, yeah, okay.
Both sides. So I was trying to watch that Kamala Harris when she had Meg Thee Stallion on stage.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
That rally, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give her a shot. I gave it maybe like a minute, and I'm like, I can't, I just can't.
They
sit
said
through
that
this.
after the concert, people were actually leaving within
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Yeah, they
of the
got
end of the
video
concert.
footage
Of like people
just
leaving,
walking out.
leaving. Like that's not even a lie. People like were like, "Wow, they probably just came for the free concert."
Yeah.
You know, like
Well,
legit.
Meg Thee Stallion, she's one of the hottest artists out there. It's a freak.
I just think she's hot.
She's very hot.
Yeah, I don't think she's the hottest because like
No, one of the.
I don't even think that. I just
Really?
think she's hot. Period.
Yeah.
I just think she's hot. She is hot.
No, she's bad as hell.
Yeah, she is hot, man. But I agree with you, man. It's like tough to listen to her speak, and now you're thinking that she's the person that could possibly be running this country. And I think all of our choices right now. I think RFK might be a good argument for a good candidate, but I don't think he is like also a great candidate either. I think the choices that we have. Out of the choices we have, it's tough to even pick one. They all, I feel like, are out to their own agenda. We need less government, not more government, in my opinion.
Agreed. And that's the libertarian in us.
Yes, yeah, agreed.
Not like you don't need government to telling us what to do, right? Like, and that spills over to over regulation, over taxation, all this other stuff that comes with big government that people don't understand, and how much they're impacting our economy, right? If you are a libertarian, you also believe in an Adam Smith type of economy, which is Jesus, I can't get it off my top on the tongue right now. It's classical economy.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Classical
economy, free market economy, right? Where you just let people buy and sell what needs to be sold and bought.
Is that meaning that they're making their own prices for things too?
That happens, yeah. And price control, we see that in New York, right?
But would price control be by the government, or would that be by like the person selling the item?
That's the government. The government.
But in your classic, perspective, do you think that the pricing should be set by government, or pricing should be set by people?
By the market.
By the market.
The market, yeah. Because if, let's say, for instance, you go buy a product from vendor A, and vendor A is going to upcharge you by like $15. But then you go to vendor B, and the vendor B got that same product at $15 cheaper. You go to that vendor, and that's the market, doing its job of, okay, I'm gonna go check this vendor out. Now he or she is too high. Let me go to the next.
I mean, it's like buying weed back in the day,
Yeah.
You hit like 5 people all at once, all the plugs at one time, but separately in a separate message, and you'd be like, "Hey, how much for an eighth?" They tell you 20, and like, all right, let me see it.
Let me smell it.
Then you hit up another person. How much for an eighth? They'd be like 25. And then, sometimes the 25 and the 20 would look comparable. And then the 31 into the 20, you're like, I might want to spend the extra bread, actually,
to get the better quality. But you see, that is classical economy, right?
Yes,
where you go out there
and you barter.
Some people barter, right?
But some people have their set prices. That's it. You're coming for me for this. If you don't want it, you can leave. Yeah.
Okay. And I see that from my wife's perspective. Like she has her cake business, and she has her set prices because she needs to have those set prices because there's electricity, there's the location, we have to go out and buy the products, and all of that is cost, and that cost has to be tacked on.
What's your wife's cake business?
It's Alley Cakes Customs.
Right here. Shout out to Alley Cakes Customs.
We're located in South River. She does amazing work. She's on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. She's everywhere.
What's the best way to get in contact with Alley Cakes to get a cake? Instagram. All right. And shout out to Instagram one more time.
Alley Cake Customs.
There you go.
At Instagram.
Spelled this way. So, all right. So
you need to allow the market to do what the market is going to do. The market's going to do whatever the fuck we want to do, right? If there's a whole bunch of potheads, they're going to go out and go get weed. right? If there's a whole bunch of alcoholics, they're gonna go out and buy alcohol. Sneakerheads will buy sneakers. Video gamers are gonna buy. You need to let the market do what it needs to do. And with bigger government, that control starts shrinking over the market, and the government starts taking over it. And you don't want that because that spills over to
Do you believe that
socialism.
governments should be involved in pharmaceuticals too? Then?
No.
Or do you think that pharmaceuticals should also be the same way that you described? Like,
Yes, even
you know, I go to this
pharmaceutical.
doctor and then I go to this doctor and I see which one gives me the best price or which one gives me the best care, right? That's what you're all looking for, and that's what you go for.
And at the right price, right? But with insurance, and then you have the Obamacare who's setting prices, right? Like you're starting to take control over the market. And even Bill Clinton talked about this in what was it, in '92 when he was debating George Bush Sr. and Ross Perot. He said it during that debate. In order to control healthcare costs, you had to control prescription costs. Right, and that is socialism. As much as people don't want to think, it's real. It's socialism.
It really is. It really is.
Because you're controlling the market.
Anytime any government or anybody really tries to control the market, it's a type of socialism.
Yes.
Right? You know, my buddy told me a story about when he used to live in Poland back in like the not the 80s. And they kind of have like a socialist country at that time. It's a little different, but kind of the same. To where they would get like a coupon book, you know, and you're only allowed like one loaf of bread a month. So people would be trading coupons, you know, for like if say you had a family of 4, you know, and it was just me as a single person, you know, I prefer the bottle of liquor over the extra loaf of bread, and I trade you the loaf of bread coupon for, you know, a liquor coupon, you know, and once you start like, you know, telling people you're only allowed one loaf of bread a month, you're only allowed this and this and that, you know, well, like, why is that? You know, that's where it comes into it's a socialism society to where they're forcing you to and allowing you to only either you got to pay it at this price and only this price and it can never change, or you can only get one loaf of bread a month and that's it, you know. And it's sad that you know you've seen the marching and everything that they were doing, like what was it, like 3 million people got together and they were marching for communism. Did you see that?
No, where was this at?
It was somewhere in the United States. I don't know off the top of my head. I want to say I'm not even gonna guess. But it's like, do people really read into like past history? You know, I think that history is like something that you should learn from, but we don't need to repeat. You know,
Yeah.
we learn from it. You learn history. I mean, that's why you're taught it in school. You know, you're taught history in school so you can learn from it. And I feel like we're just continuing to like repeat a process, and we're continuing to, you know, shake our heads and hold our heads like, what are we doing this for? You know. I gotta plug the computer up real quick. All right, so forget me rambling on about all that. Let's get into something that we actually really want to talk about today. Again, our live podcast I said was going to be about politics, but let's talk a little.
I mean, it's been.
It has been. It has been. But the agenda that I got is not, right?
Yeah. there's targets that
this has been a great discussion. This has been a great discussion. So, this name on this paper, what's his name?
Mr. Peter Thiel.
Give me what you know about him right now. Give me a summary synopsis of what you know about Peter Thiel right now.
So I know he's part of the PayPal army, which is
Well, he's a co-founder.
yes, with Elon Musk, and there's a couple other people involved too. And before last week when I watched this video about him, all I knew was that he was into crypto, and I saw him at a couple conferences, and he spoke about cryptocurrencies, and he was for it. So anyone that's for crypto, I kind of been like on the bandwagon until about 2 weeks ago, when I started learning about what our friend Peter Thiel is about. And I think you could just,
I mean,
some
if
lessons
you
about
really read into him, right? He co-founded a CIA-backed big data startup. Palantir. Yep. He was a first big investor in Facebook. Did you know that? He has sold majority of his stakes, and he hasn't been on the board since 2022. But so he's worth between 7.2 billion and 11 something billion. So he has enough money to literally fund a campaign on either side, right?
Correct.
And if you really dig deep, it says he's 56. This is stuff that I looked up prior to this. Some little information. He kind of made all of his money on his own. And he was an FBI informant. You knew that already, right?
No, this is new news to me.
Yeah. So
but I'm not so surprised, man.
So in the summer of 2021, Insider has learned Thiel began providing information as a confidential human source, or CHS, to Jonathan Buma. Did I say that word right? Buma, right?
Buma, yep.
A Los Angeles-based FBI agent who specializes in investigating political corruption and foreign influence campaigns.
So what I don't understand with that statement is that he does that. Like you're snitching on something that he does.
I'm not snitching on anybody.
Not you, but he is.
Oh well,
Peter
yeah.
Thiel, right?
Yeah, I'm not snitching on nobody. If he's an informant, I mean he's an informant.
I mean we snitching on him right now.
I'm not. I mean this is just it
is public information.
Yeah. I mean what is his CIA big data startup? What is it?
Palantir.
Yeah, what is it?
Oh, it's a company that the government used to track people. It was used during the January 6th hearings, where they used facial recognition to track down the people that were I wouldn't call it a riot. I would call it a not so peaceful protest.
Yeah. Well, did you see? I read today that the NFL is gonna adapt that in their stadiums now.
Really?
Yeah, face recognition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, bro.
That they are allowing that to happen. I mean, don't they do it in China already? That they have the police have a special pair of sunglasses they wear, or glasses, to where when someone passes by and say they have a criminal record, the glasses scan the face of the person. It will tell them that this person has a record, and they just get caught just walking on the street.
Wow, I didn't know that. I know they got a social credit score that, depending on how you behave.
Oh, on your Facebook and everything that?
Yeah, but also, I mean, I'm sure they got facial recognition where they already, let's say you got into an argument with somebody in the street, it'll bring down your social credit score.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
That is the craziest thing, honestly. It's kind of sad if you think about it, that you really are being watched. Every time you walk out of your house, you're probably being watched in your house too, depending on if you put Band-Aids over your cameras and stuff like that,
Yeah.
You are constantly being watched. And that is a company that Peter Thiel is actually a part of and actually co-founded, not co-founded. He had it as a startup. And if you think about it, he's more and more. They're going to adapt this program more and more.
Yeah, as long as he keep on giving that money up to the Republicans, they're going to continue using his services.
So when you say he giving his money up to the Republicans, give me an example.
Donating money.
So, but I know. But
so then, okay.
Do you know how much he donated to, and who he donated to?
I know he donated for Trump in the beginning.
Yes, I could tell you exactly the amount. I had it right here. He donated $1.25 million to Trump's campaign in 2016.
Okay, and he was one of the first that were rooting for Trump. Because initially in 2016, even the Republicans didn't want Trump. It wasn't like Trump was
loved by everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he wasn't Papi Trump yet.
No. He was not. He was not.
And then Peter Thiel was one of the first people that donated some money to him. And actually, Trump and Peter Thiel actually worked with work together during his first campaign to implement some of these surveillances that we're talking about now.
Right. Which is again crazy. And if you think about it, if Trump gets back into presidency, Vance, what we're going to talk about, is kind of like a puppet, right?
Yeah.
And
based
Peter
on the
Thiel,
stuff that we've seen, you could say that Vance is a puppet.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he got into government in 2022, right?
Yeah.
Who was his biggest backing when he became a senator?
Mr. Peter Thiel.
Do you know how much money he got?
He got more than Trump, right?
Oh, a lot more. It was. I have it here. I can give it to you guys. You're gonna have to give me a second. I believe it was $20 million, which is the highest ever for a person.
Political donation.
Yeah, political donation. So I got a little article right here. It says, so what's the link between Vance and Thiel? You're asking precisely this. Thiel was not only Vance's boss up until recently. Did you know that?
Yeah.
He was also a huge donor to Vance's Ohio Senate campaign in 2022. During that time, Thiel gave the most amount of money that any single person has ever given to a U.S. Senate campaign to J.D. Vance. Here it is. I'm sorry. Thiel's donation of a cool $15 million in 2022 might not raise too many eyebrows considering he's one of the wealthiest men in the country, which is true, which is kind of crazy. But there are more than a few reasons why Thiel's forays into politics could spell huge trouble for us all. And it goes into like how, but there's a darker aspect to it all because, of course, it is guys like Peter Thiel, Walker speculates, would know how to set up a surveillance state, right? And he's already been doing that when Trump was president. Now, if Trump, we both agree Trump's going to be president, so that's what I'm saying. If Trump becomes president, I'll say that. You don't think the surveillance state's going to get even worse?
See,
or more, you know?
Now, because we use China as an example of how worse it could get. Because to me, it's like they already can see all our text messages. Every form of communication we do is being saved. They could see it. There's plenty of evidence out there where there's government agencies that go after people because of a Facebook post, right? Instagram post, Twitter post.
Well, you can't say anything about like killing the president or anything like that. You go to jail.
Well, I mean, that's free speech, bro. You shouldn't be able to go to jail for that.
Listen, I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but that falls under your free speech. Even though you shouldn't be saying that, right?
Yeah, you shouldn't be saying
that.
But
if I'm going around, I'm going to kill the president, that's free speech. That falls under that. You can't do nothing about that.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not anymore, right?
I mean, no.
Because if that got taken away,
it keeps on. We're slowly losing our rights, man, and it's sad because people are not realizing that we are.
Well, right? I mean, do you believe we have freedom of speech anymore? We have it to an aspect.
Right? We have it in open Discord, and ever since Elon Musk bought Twitter, right? You see more people talking freely online, whereas before, during COVID, you couldn't say much. If you were saying stuff that was against the narrative, they was shadow ban you or they would shut you off of Twitter, right? And we saw prominent doctors that got shadow banned. We saw people that worked with the mRNA vaccine that were getting shut out of the conversation, right? So there you are controlling speech because you want only your narrative to be talked about. And if you go against the grain, they come after you. But in public, what they're going to do? Are they really going to start arresting people?
Well, I heard that Twitter now is making you send in your ID instead of like you can't make like a fake Twitter account and like talk a lot of crap to somebody or people or you know, whatever the case is, and them not know who you are anymore.
Okay.
And if you think about it, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk have to be friends.
They're still homies, yeah.
And if you don't think that's part of, you know, surveillance, it is. Because why can't I make a Twitter and I just want to make a Twitter and share information to people, like anonymous, right?
Mhm.
You know the party anonymous. So
Yeah.
you know, like why can't I just be anonymous and say what I have to say? Why do I have to have I like a photograph ID to confirm who I am?
Well, I think Elon had to go down that route because he was losing a lot of ads, right? A lot of advertising money. So he had to find a way to to show that in his platform there's not a lot of bots. So that something has to give, right? Like I know when you use Coinbase or when you use Kraken or any, you have to send in
Your ID.
for your ID in
Yeah,
order
yeah.
for you to move money. Now, I'm not big on social media. I can care less about social media.
Same.
But on the free speech aspect of it, I will always argue that if you are an American based company, you should have American principles and you should follow somewhat the Constitution because you're an American business. You're representing America. How is it that you're going to be an American business and then you're shutting off one side of the country?
No, you're right. You're right. I'm in agreement with you. I feel like one of the good things Trump did when he was president was actually bring a lot of businesses back to the United States,
Right.
which is something we're going to talk about at the end a little bit, which is huge. The pipeline, the gas pipeline, oil pipeline.
Blown up.
I think that our gas prices are so high and everything, and I think a big reason is we're not even supplying our own oil to our own selves. We're just selling it, and then we're getting gas and oil. New Jersey has a oil refinery. Did you know that? We have one of the biggest oil refineries on the East Coast.
By Linden, right?
Linden.
Linden, right?
Yeah.
Close to the turnpike.
And instead of New Jersey using its own oil refinery to supply New Jerseyans with oil, we ship it out to other states. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like how much cheaper would our gas be if they just supplied us with it?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of Trump's talking points, right? That in order to bring down inflation, you had to bring down the price of something. Because if everything is up high, that's the inflation that it went up. But if you bring something down of importance to our economy, then everything is going to go down, and that's energy, right? If right now energy is high, I think gas is like at $3.20, right? During Trump, it was like at $1 and some change. I think it was like $1.80. That's $1.40 per gallon difference. If you're a business that you're transporting stuff, that cost is going to go into each individual item,
right?
So if you could take the cost of energy and shrink that shit down, then now you could actually bring down the prices of things. Now, from an economic standpoint, that sounds amazing, right? Like, and according to what the Trump administration is saying, Pennsylvania has a big ass oil reserve there that you could start drilling there. And there's different pockets in the United States that have oil, right? So,
I mean, we have so much oil in the United States.
Yeah.
You know how big Alaska is? I don't think people really understand how big Alaska is. It is huge. And there's so much oil in Alaska that we will never have to go to another country to get oil in multiple lifetimes. Like multiple lifetimes. You're talking about like your kids' lifetimes. Like if you just got the oil from Alaska and had it, and that's what the whole pipeline thing was, right? We were running the pipeline so we can bring it to us in an easier form, in a quicker form.
What, the one that got blown up?
Yes.
No, that was from Russia to Germany. That pipeline.
Oh no, I'm talking about the one that like Biden stopped.
Oh yeah, yep.
The one that like Trump was all about,
Yep.
And then Biden stopped it. And then you see the prices of gas just went up,
Mhm.
they thought it was, not good for the land. What about leaks and everything? There's a lot of, activists on either side, arguing the fact. But I'm going to bring up what you said. If you bring down energy, right? And I think a great economy is an economy that puts money back into the economy. Right?
Mhm.
If you it's like we're living paycheck to paycheck, and people don't have money to spend on a movie. You know, people don't have money to spend on extra on cakes, you know, here and there. You know, we talk about, you know, LA Cakes Custom. Like, people don't have the extra money to spend on a birthday cake. They'll just, or a wedding cake or something like that. They'll either make it themselves, right? Or they'll go and buy like a low key one, not like a nice fancy one, you know? And that hurts the economy.
Yep.
You know, if you were able to bring down energy, and when energy, it's like, you know, your kilowatts per hour on your electric bill, you know, the electric is going up now. Did you see that? Did you notice your electric bill last month?
Yeah.
It actually went up. I think kilowatts per whatever kilowattage it is, it actually went up for everybody in New Jersey.
I know mine went up.
I think everybody they were complaining about it, and it's crazy because it's not like you're using any more or any less, right?
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, this is the, you know, third month in the summer. We're in August now, you know. So if your bill in June, when it started getting hot, wasn't the same as now, there's an issue, right? What about July, when it's been honestly record-breaking heat waves, record-breaking? They had the hottest day around the world a couple Mondays ago, right? It was on a Sunday for a few hours, and then the Monday beat it out, which is crazy. Did you know that?
No, I just saw an article today about Antarctica, the temperature being 50 degrees hotter than what it's supposed to be. I don't know if that's true.
It probably is. It probably is. But do you know that you know, we were in an ice age, and then like the 1700s to 1600s was like the end of the ice age? And they say that, you know, we go through an ice age every 10,000 years.
Yeah, because it goes up and down because of the tilt of the Earth. So depending how the tilt is depending how much sunlight you're getting. So if you are, so let's say if it's wobbling and you're turning away, one side is going to cool off while the other one is going to warm up, and then vice versa, right? As it's wobbling around the sun.
So you believe that the Earth is round?
Yeah. so you're telling me if you look at the sky, right? Everything is a circle. Everything is except us.
Except us. We're just flat.
How narcissistic you got to be like, yeah, we're flat. Everybody else.
Honestly, there really are people that will argue the fact on like the Earth being flat.
Well, I went down to the flat Earth.
You did believe it at one point?
I didn't believe it, but I listened to their arguments, and some of the arguments
they kind of make sense.
They kind of make sense. Like the one argument that got me was, we've never taken a photo of the Earth complete. It's all composites. It's not a full image, which is like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But then I saw one experiment where they put rods on different ends.
Oh, yeah, with the light. Right? With the guy's like, hey, raise it.
He goes, and then
he got debunked like immediately. Like it was that. So funny.
Yeah. You know, so after I saw that, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm not gonna continue feeding into this stuff. But yeah, like,
that was kind of funny, actually. Like, shine the light. I can't see it. We got the same height. That was funny. I did have a question to ask off of that, though. Oh, do you believe we went to the moon?
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
You see that movie that's coming out?
Yeah, that's why. I don't know.
You see the movie that's coming out? Yeah, that's why I don't believe that.
Well, there is certain scientists that are saying we did go, but just the footage that was created was fake. But that we actually went and.
So you think like Neil Armstrong was the first person on the moon?
I don't know. To me, it's a tough one. That is a tough one. There's a lot of conspiracy around it, and I haven't sat down and actually read the legit papers to say.
I think that we definitely sent machines to the moon. You know, like rovers and stuff like that.
I know India just did it,
but not a human.
I think they did.
Really? A human being?
I think India did.
Do they have like a movie on it?
They got video footage.
Yeah, but you can get video footage from a rover.
Could be. I had to look into it to see if there was humans in it. But India still touched the moon, and they sent.
They were saying that we reached the moon with like less battery power and intelligence than your like phone.
Yeah. I seen that.
That's
shit.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then when they were looking to do like a documentary on it, they went to NASA and they said, "Oh yeah, give us like 3 days." And like within 3 days, all the footage and everything was destroyed. Did you hear about that
No,
one?
I didn't hear about that.
I don't know how true it is. This is something you guys also have to
So
look
that's
up.
what I'm saying. Like, there's so many conspiracies with that shit that it's tough to nail it
I
down.
mean, there's conspiracies with everything.
Granted, right?
Like you can make a conspiracy theory about legit anything.
You can. You just got to get a couple people to follow.
That's it. That's it.
What you're saying.
That's it. It's like the Family Guy episode when Peter didn't want to go to like church anymore, and they were like, "Oh, well, then come up with your own religion." Remember that one?
No, I haven't seen that.
And the guy from Happy Days, the Fonz, he made like a religion to follow the Fonz, and like people like started following him, and it was a cartoon, right? But you know, it's a funny concept that you could just come up with anything and be like, you know, I want to praise the Fonz, and now like you see him in church with a whole bunch of people, and he's like after every like thing, you know how we say amen, he'd be like, hey, and then he's like, hey. Which is honestly kind of funny.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, that's what cults are. You know, people join a cult not knowing what the following is, and they'll just start doing it. It's like that theory. I know we're getting off this topic, but I kind of love it right now. It's like that theory. You ever hear that monkey theory?
Monkey see, monkey do.
Kind of. Yes. They put like 5 monkeys in a cage.
Yeah. We spoke about this.
Yes. So they put like 5 monkeys in a cage. And they put bananas on top of the cage. And anytime one of the monkeys would try to climb the cage, they get poured on rain, right? So
all of them.
Yeah, all of them. All the monkeys would get poured on rain. So they did it for like a little bit. Each monkey tried. They kept getting poured on rain. And then they took one monkey out and then introduced a new monkey.
Oh, wait. But you forgot to say that then the monkeys started jumping the one monkey that was going to
that was going up. Yeah.
Without the water.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That was the next thing. So now, like, they got rained on a lot. They realized you can't go up there and grab the bananas, right? And they introduced a new monkey and got rid of a monkey. So now this monkey never got rained on, right? So now the monkey climbs up. Now the monkey gets rained on and tries to grab the bananas. So now anytime that monkey try to go up again, they get beat up, right? So then the next thing was they would remove a monkey, put another monkey in, right? This is the same process. But now anytime that monkey would go up, they would just beat up the monkey. They wouldn't even get rained on, to where now they kept introducing a new monkey, taking an old monkey out, to where now the original 5 monkeys that were there are not there anymore. And the new monkeys have no idea why they can't go and grab the banana, but they know that if you try to do it, you get beat up. And they weren't even pouring rain on them anymore. It was just a concept that people just follow the leader. There was another one that I seen that They had a group of like 4 or 5 people in a room, and they were given like charts, like what line's bigger, and one person wasn't in on it. I'm sorry, one person wasn't in on it. The other 4 were in on it. So the other 4 people kept saying the wrong answer, and the person that was not in it on it would say the right answer for about 2 times, and then that person would just start saying the wrong answer with the other 4 people, even though it was clear that this line was bigger than this line. It didn't matter because everybody else said that this line was bigger. They started going with it, like sheep, sadly, right? Like they just follow the leader, and instead of being right, they just wanted to be, wanted to fit in, wanted to be equal. You can't always be equal.
Oh no, we're not equal though.
No, absolutely not.
We're not equal. We all have our own unique skills. We all have our unique attributes. We all one of one, and we all think what we think inside of our own head, right? So it's when you start just following the herd, you start becoming part of something that is like a tribe, right? And you can't say anything against the tribe, because if you do, you're wrong. Right, but that's that herd thinking, where, like you said, is you just follow along. Like another example of that was they had an experiment where they sat down people, and they started with like 2 or 3 people, and then one was in on it, The other two weren't. And then the guy that was in on it, he would stand up.
Oh, and sit down. I seen that.
Right?
I seen that.
And then, as you see, as the people that weren't following along, they will remove them. And bring
Anytime they hear like a bell, right?
Some shit. Like
Yeah.
Right. So, but it creates that herd mentality where I'm only gonna believe in this, and I'm not gonna look elsewhere. And I'm not even gonna lie. I used to be part of that. I used to think that the whole government was against us, right? But that's what I grew up listening to, that the government was gonna come take our rights, that they wanted to do martial law, that they were gonna come kill people, right? Like growing up listening to that shit, and then when I get older, I'm like, this is not bad, right? Republicans are not all racist. They don't only care only for the rich. The problem is that their process allows you to become rich, right? So then back in 2018, I believe, when Trump did the tax cut, I used to work for a very liberal company, and they had TVs and they had CNN on. And they would tell people the tax cuts, they're only for the rich. They're only for the top 1%, only for the rich, for the rich, for the rich. When I got my next paycheck after it got signed into law, I got more money in my paycheck. And I'm like, and I had a good friend at the time, and I'm like, yo, bro, you got more money in your paycheck? He goes like, yeah. He goes like, yo, those are the Trump tax cuts. And I'm like, wait, hold on, but isn't that only for the rich? He goes like, nah, bro, that shit's for everybody. He cut everybody's taxes. And then I started waking up to the bullshit. Like, wait, hold on. This guy actually is helping the people out, even though that CNN and MSNBC is saying, oh, this is only for the rich. It wasn't only for the rich, right? So then I started learning on my own, understanding what is politics and how there's two political parties, and these two parties.
Well, there's more.
But those are two major ones, right? Like you got the Green Party, you got the Libertarian Party, but
birthday party according to Kanye West.
The Kanye West party, yeah. You know, my son had asked me that, like, yo, when is he running for president again?
Never again. But now that you're on Trump, let's talk about some things that he did that were good in his political party in his time as president.
I got a couple on top of the dome.
Let me hear it.
I got the tax cuts, right? No wars started. He was working with a lot of the Middle Eastern countries on the Abraham Accords. For those that don't know that, go look into it. Let me see what else. He gave a lot of historically black universities bread.
That's a big one. I was going to say that. Yeah, that's a
big
big one.
Where he made it consistent that they get money.
People keep saying that Donald Trump's racist.
Yeah.
And I seen a interview with Judge Joe Brown.
Oh, you seen those?
Yeah, that was awesome, dude. Yeah. So he said that if Donald Trump was racist, why would he walk a black girl down the red carpet? I mean, right?
Why would he give all that money away for historically black colleges and universities?
Well, he said that back in the 80s, prior to him becoming, who he is now at all, right? Back in the 80s, he came from money, had a lot of money, was big into real estate. There was black companies, black people trying to start a company, and they weren't getting loans from banks. So someone told these guys or girls or whatever, these black business owners, wannabe black business owners, to go to Donald Trump, and he would give you a loan. So they went to Donald Trump. He gave them a loan, and then you had to pay back a certain amount of time with interest and everything. And after they got their businesses started, they went back to Donald Trump with the full money. And Donald Trump said, "Hey, are you running a successful business?" They said, "Yeah." He said, "Keep the money. It's for your business." It's huge. And this is like real factual things. Like people that own the business will come out and came out and said it, which is crazy, So you can't even tell me he's racist ever.
No,
that'd be crazy to me. That's one argument you can't make with me.
With me neither. Yeah. It's like I don't. Okay, so are you talking about? Are we only talking about like black races, or are we talking about like all the other races? Right? Like, okay? So what race is he racist towards?
Oh well, yeah. Right? I guess that would be
because
that would be an argument you would have to talk about.
Yeah. which race is he racist towards? Because you can't claim that it's the black community. I can't sit here and be like,
I mean, Harris put how many black people in jail when she was a prosecutor? Like for really
minor
small
weed
amounts.
offenses.
Yeah,
Yes.
weeds.
Yeah.
Weeds. Got the weeds.
Well, you got to go shopping for the weed price.
But that. I mean, if you really look into her Harris's past history, it's kind of crazy if you think about it. She was part of when she was vice president to stop people from coming into the border. She was on border control. She did a horrible job with that.
Yeah.
Did you see the video of it's with Dr. Phil and Venezuela people in Venezuela? They don't have their criminal rate is so down, it's like nothing.
Oh, it's low, yeah, because they keep on sending them up
They
here.
send them to the United States. They give them in Venezuela. They say, "Hey, we'll let you go as long as you leave and go to the United States." And you see how many people they say came in from Venezuela, criminals?
Nah,
6 million people.
Gee.
6 million people. That's crazy.
Well, the total is what, at 15 million at this point?
Yeah,
Total?
Yeah,
That's insane. That's insane.
It's unbelievable. And these are undocumented people. Do I believe that? I mean, listen, America is a melting pot, and I love the opportunity that you could get in America.
Yeah.
But for you to come to America and not be documented, at least we don't know where you are. I have a lot of friends that, I don't want to say I have a lot of friends, but I have friends that are illegal that are here. They were here on a visa and the visa expired and they should technically go back to their country. Amazing people, but technically they're documented.
Yeah.
Technically they're documented. So I'm talking about the undocumented people that are coming into this country, and you don't know if they're criminals. They could be great people. My problem is I have a lot of faith in humanity, and sometimes you shouldn't. I love people, and I feel like everybody deserves a chance, even if you did wrong. But some people don't deserve 2 chances. You know what I'm saying? Or 3 chances per se. And I feel like every country in the world has a border. Every country has you can't go into Canada without crossing a border and you getting checked.
Right.
You can't. You can't go into Mexico. They have literally spot. You can't just go into Mexico without getting checked.
Any other country, bro. If you go to any other country, you gotta go through customs.
Yeah. Let me name a couple more good things Trump.
Yeah, go ahead.
He made affordable, high quality childcare for American workers and their families. Advanced apprenticeship career pathways to good paying jobs. Enhanced women's economic empowerment.
No, he's a bigot. He's a sexist.
No way. Stop playing. He's just a male person. He's just a male. If you listen to any male's conversation on the side, and same with women, because women are probably even more vulgar than men, to be honest with you. And they don't want to admit it, but I've worked with both all women and all men, and men are absolutely disrespectful, right? And we talk about some stuff that, you shouldn't talk when women are there. But women don't care. Yeah. Women say the same thing, but with everybody there. They don't care.
And I got 3 sisters. I got my mom, my grandma, my aunt, and I got a whole bunch of female cousins.
Yeah.
Bro, I grew up with female. I know exactly what you're talking about.
They're worse than men.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, when it comes to gossiping and talking crap and all that
which
stuff.
Which is okay too. It's
which is awesome, especially when you're in a family setting or a really good group of friends setting. I think everybody has opinions, and there's certain times you're allowed to speak your opinion. And those are times that you could speak your opinion and say what you want to say and speak freely and not worry about how you're being judged,
Agree.
He had a hit record in the stock market numbers and record 401ks. Did you know that?
Yep. And inflation was low. Inflation was under 1%.
Yep. He replenished the depleted strategic national stockpile,
which is the oil that was used during
Biden.
Yeah.
What was it, 80 barrels or something?
Yeah. It was a lot of oil.
Let's see. Reduced American economy to nearly $3.4 trillion in relief, the largest financial aid package in history. Listen, you guys can argue things that he has done bad. I'm just telling you things that he has done that was good when he was a president. He supported law enforcement. He backed law enforcement, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a person that feels like law enforcement should be. They need to be educated better.
Yes.
Right? Like way better. It shouldn't be like whatever a 16-week class that they take and then you become a cop. No, like
not only that, so sorry to cut you off. Some of the courses that they get taught too, they get taught biases. So when they go out into the field, they're going to the field with these biases, thinking that people are going to react a certain way. So they're ready, expecting for that bad moment to happen. Where if you train them to understand that, like, if you're respectful, for the most part, people are, because not everybody wants to go home.
At the end of the day, everybody. Yeah. We all have families. That's just the job they're doing to get paid. Also, on being more educated, and I think constantly educated, right? Even when you become a cop, you should continue to go through education. Yeah. But I believe they should be paid way more. Like, they're risking their lives every single day.
I mean, but some cops, they get paid pretty good, too. I know in Jersey, I got a couple cop friends.
After a good amount of years of you being a cop, you start off.
Granted,
and then you also got to think about it. They probably have unlimited overtime. Pretty much. Yeah. So they make a lot of their money on overtime. Yeah, their paychecks look good, but they should make good money regular time, like everybody should. If you are good at your craft and educated on your craft, you shouldn't have to work overtime. Overtime is like vacation money. You should be able to live in a moderate world and be able to afford what you need to afford as a regular American with a 40-hour work week.
I agree, but we don't have that no more, brother.
We do not.
We do not have that anymore, and it's the government's fault. And as much as people want to point the finger to corporations over inflation, but inflation is not a corporation caused; it's government caused. People need to learn what inflation is. And if you learn what inflation is, you're going to learn, you know how to combat it, which is printing money. And what we did after 2020, we printed the fuck out of money.
I mean, nothing, the dollar's not backed by anything.
By nothing. It's our military is what backs up, right? Because we could tell people, you better take our money. You take our money or you're going to be fucked.
Yeah, no problem, right.
Yeah. See, but I don't want to go into more of that, but it's in jeopardy because they keep on printing money.
Well, the dollar value is going lower and lower daily.
From 2020 to today, which is 4 years, it has lost 20% of its value.
Isn't that crazy?
So if you had $100 in 2020, today is worth $80. And that's not even included since the 70s. Guys, go look at charts. Go look at charts of how inflation's been eating away at our value, our monetary value.
It's going to take years of good government to change that, though.
Yeah, agree.
Years. It can't be done overnight. It's going to take years of good government to change that. And I just don't think that what we have right now, we're capable of doing that.
Not with our current administration.
I mean, the thing is, whoever's going to be president, no matter what, they only get 4 years.
Yeah, but the ideas that get instituted when they become president, it has a lingering effect. If
it's good ideas, I mean, also bad ideas, they linger on too.
Yeah, I mean, shit. We're like I mentioned earlier, we finally got price control on insulin. What? Close to 30 years after Bill Clinton said that this is what needs to happen.
Yep.
Right? So these are bad ideas that is happening from 1990s that are starting to get implemented today. And now we're going to see the results of that because we continue falling for the same trap.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. It says inflation is a hidden taxation. It just takes money away from the people, not from the rich, because they already got it. Rich people know how to make money. They know how to leverage their losses when inflation is about to happen. And how do you know when inflation is coming?
Yep.
This is the only way.
Yep. All right, so give me something that you think the government needs to put in place.
And the government needs to cut monetary fat. And so what I mean by that is they keep on spending money. You can't spend money that is not being produced, right? Like at least if you're taxing people and you're building roads, you're building schools, right? That money produces something. You're producing education, you're producing traveling. But when you got government agencies that ain't doing shit, they're just taking your money, then that's a fact. You got to cut all of that. You got to reduce government. A huge example that I'm following is in Argentina. Right? You got the president out there. He's been cutting out government agencies left and right, and we're slowly seeing the progress of that and how that's developing. And I think in the United States we can do that. We could start trimming some of that fat. How? I don't know. That's not my job, right? That's the politician's job to go find an economist that, okay, we don't need this, we don't need that, we don't need this, right? Because there are certain aspects of government that works, right? Firefighters work, cops work, there's government, your local government, that shit works, or it's supposed to work at least.
It's supposed to work,
right?
I believe in a township government,
right? So
town government.
So we have all of that shit that is needed, but we also need to start looking at stuff that is not needed. Like, do we need to have a military budget that is in the billions? We're talking about 800 billion.
What about paying these politicians 40 hours a week when they only show up for a day?
I mean, they're only making what, $200,000 a year. Majority of the money is being made outside.
Yeah, I know.
Right, so I just think it's more of the spending, right? The spending, and then regulations on top of that, because regulation slows down progress.
Yes.
Right. If you got too many regulations on a market, you're gripping the market by the balls by saying you have to do it this way, you can't do it this way. If you have a business that's, I don't know, let's say you have software, and if you have to follow a specific regulation, then you add more cost to that software that eventually trickles down to the users, right? And it's the same thing to us. As the bigger the agencies they have and the more money they spend, that's more taxation that comes out of our pocket. That's less money in our pockets, and then add inflation, bro. We just getting our shit handed to us.
So summarize it. Give me a 2-sentence summary on what the government needs to do, like something that needs to be put in place now. That's gonna help us. Two sentences.
Find efficient energy that will bring down prices, right? And then bring down the cost of government agencies.
Perfect.
We're talking about triple digits on the hundreds of billions of dollars that is being spent on these agencies.
Perfect. So we are surpassed the time, and I appreciate everybody that did eventually tune in. I appreciate everybody that's going to eventually tune in. I want to end on a joke.
Hit it.
But do you want anything? Do you want to say anything?
No, I'm good.
Good. My boy, though.
I said what I had to say.
My boy. Yo, we be killing that. Yeah. So we're going to do another live podcast in about a month, I would say, right?
Give or take.
3 weeks, a month, something like that. We're going to do another one. So let me end on this one. Let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
There's 3 women that are sitting in an ice cream parlor.
Uh-huh.
They each have an ice cream cone. One's licking the ice cream cone, one's sucking the ice cream cone, and one has the ice cream cone all the way up in her mouth. Which one of them is married?
The one that's licking the cone.
The one with the wedding ring. Later, guys.